Hello, ladies. You know what makes these hens healthy and happy is also the key to great wine. Wine growing is farming, and green farming is what it's all about in winemaking today.
You know, Dan, this is probably the only Cork Dorks list you'll see us make with chicken accompaniment in the background. So we're going to make it a really good one for you. 4 things that have really come about in just the last few years that have taken wine growing from being a farming practice to being a really green farming practice.
We'll tell you about 2 of them right now and 2 later in the show.
Number 1, the use of cover crops, beneficial plants that are planted to feed the vines what they need as opposed to using fertilizers made out of synthetic chemicals.
And number 2, insects and hawks, things that used to be thought of as pests, but now recognized as being valuable partners to the grape.
So today we've come to the Green String Farm in Petaluma, California to learn from one of the real gurus of green winemaking, and that's Bobby Cannard. Bobby's fruits and vegetables and his grapes are used in some of the greatest restaurants and some of the best wines in America. And we're going to hear more from him today about that green stuff that we see all out in your vines. So what are all those plants underneath those vineyard rows?
Why, food for nature. Everybody's got to get lunch. You know, traditional farming practices is all for humanity and nothing for nature, and founded on commercial fertilizer inputs. And in natural process farming, we grow 50% for humanity, in this case grapevines, and it could be any cropping system, and 50% for nature. And that 50% for nature is that what we call a cover crop.
Now, Bobby, you grow some of the fruits and vegetables for some of the best restaurants in the United States, and you said that your restaurateurs, your chefs, were looking for consistency, quality of size and shape, quality of the plants, but you said you had to be careful that too much nitrogen put into the system would make big fruit, or big vegetables, but essentially flavorless. Is nitrogen a real problem?
Yeah, nitrogen is a plant drug, and in natural balance, it's absolutely essential and very, very, very important element. However, nitrogen being a plant drug is kind of like putting you on a diet of tequila. And for a while you might feel good, but pretty soon your mineral balance is going to be diminished and you'll probably get the sniffles or some other sort of even more serious disorder.
You know, Bobby, I tried the tequila diet when I was in college, and it didn't work out very well for me, but essentially that was sort of the solution that many agricultural farmers took for many years, which was, my plants don't look healthy, let's bomb them with nitrogen and then they'll look okay.
Well, you get a big crop, but you get a hollow crop. You get a water body plant. What we're looking for in natural process agriculture is the fullness and completeness.
And you said before that there's a real difference between sugar sweetness and this ethereal sweetness, that thing that's hard to put your finger on that makes you think, wow, this is really a great tomato, or this is really a great apple. Is there a difference between sugar sweetness and this sort of pleasure-giving sweetness that you're trying to grow?
Oh, etheric sweetness is yes. You can always get sugary sweetness, but etheric sweetness, this gives you vegetable dreams. This gives you dreams. You drink some of that wine that's clean and chemical-free and comes from a plant that was happy and complete unto itself, and you can feel it in your blood, and it gives you those vegetable dreams. You wake up ready to go.
If you can make wine that isn't just sweet, but really delivers what you're looking for in a glass, that is what it's all about, isn't it?
Oh, flavors, aromas, colors, tongue feel, textures. As you get physical completeness, why, you're getting there.
Great.
If humanity is truly the most intelligent organism upon the planet, then our foods and our lands that they arise from would be more vital, more complete, more diverse than wild, unmanaged nature.
You know, there's no FDIC insurance for the wines that you buy, so Dan and I are here to help you find dependable wines that taste great day in and day out, and maybe could even put a few bucks in your pocket.
We call these bankable wines. Bankable wines could be investment-grade wines or just wines that you can bank on to deliver a great glass of wine every time you open a bottle. On that investment-grade side, there are wines like Chateau Ozone or Domaine de la Romanée-Conti's Le Montrachet that cost $1,000 or more a bottle. A lot of collectors will buy these wines, age them until they increase in value, then resell them, using that money to buy more wine for the cellar, and eventually just being able to create the cellar and keep it going for nothing. One thing that's critical when you age wine for investment is to keep track of the origin of the wine and the storage of the wine. When people buy a wine at that price, they want to be guaranteed it's authentic. So keep all your receipts and any discussions, any letters that you had or emails back and forth about the purchase of them to verify the authenticity and likewise its proper storage.
Now, you don't have to spend $1,000 a bottle to get something bankable.
No.
Dan, what about this, a so-called second label wine?
Great value, and a second label is when a reliable great estate has wines, say from younger vines that aren't quite up to snuff yet for making their best wine, still good wines. They'll sell them for maybe 1/4 the price of their first wine, but you have the reliability of a great estate behind it.
And really this last category of bankability are wines that you can count on a wine list or at your favorite wine shop to deliver every single time. For an example, we would choose Rombauer Napa Valley Chardonnay. It established the style, rich and creamy, absolutely delicious. What about a wine from New Zealand? Well, Sauvignon Blanc is what does very, very well there, and this is Cloudy Bay Sauvignon Blanc. They created this crisp, refreshing style of Sauvignon Blanc that became so popular that everyone else around the world copied them. You can bank on this to be delicious every time. And then finally, and this falls into a category of really a wine that is an investment grade wine, this is Opus One from the Napa Valley. Why is it bankable? Because it was founded by two of the most famous names in wine, Robert Mondavi and the Baron Philippe de Rothschild. You can count on it each time you buy a bottle to deliver incredible flavor, great ageability, and absolutely be as great as money in the bank. Now here's a new trend. Dan actually pulling his weight around here.
I didn't know when you said Cork Dorks get their hands dirty, this is what you meant. But speaking of trends, here's the Cork Dorks list of 4 hot new wine trends.
Now, as we've already told you before, the hottest trend in the wine business is green winemaking, what we call the 101% green movement, where winemakers are going beyond the standards of organic, getting away from pesticides, getting away from herbicides, and actually trying to improve the environment around their wineries. They're establishing beneficial wildlife habitats. They're reestablishing wetlands, and some wineries have moved to solar power where they're actually sending energy back into the electric grid to power the homes near their wineries.
Wine trend number 2 is Hollywood's hottest new star is wine. After the great success Hollywood's seen with films based around wine and at wineries, there are far more wine films in the works now than ever before.
Number 3 is the increase of consumption of wine in America. America's poised to become the largest wine market in the world in the very near future. And here's why. You see, wine has become an everyday beverage. It isn't just for special occasions anymore. It's something that you can enjoy on a Tuesday or Wednesday night in your home, and it will increase your enjoyment of the dining experience.
Wine trend number 4, one of the hottest new growth areas in wine, is local wines. People travel, they like to go to a new town and taste what kind of wine is made there. Well, local wines have become absolutely one of the most important wine growth areas, and it's wines grown in all 50 states.